Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer Tournament coverage here on SpeedGaming 3. Tonight, we have a Group K matchup between proa007 and uropsalis. Hi, everyone. LOZ Cards Fan 23, and joining me on the commentary is Demon Battler. Well, we have a very interesting matchup. Last year, proa007 got to the quarterfinals, took to the eventual champion, Flower Power, to a Game 3, but ended up getting eliminated by the eventual champion. uropsalis last year in group stage, 2-4, did not make it to the bracket stages, so he'll be looking to right that ship this season. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are underway. It is world number 7 to start things off, and I see a panel 10, which means there's only going to be the one fort. Where is that lock? And where is the route, of course, to the Island of Happiness? So far, nothing. They've seen a lot of pipes, but they have not found the way out. And Pro and uropsalis are pretty much following each other's footsteps. So these are going to be the Group 2 flags that you had seen from last season. The only difference is no end card game, and that's going to be the case for both of these races. There will not be an end card game played at all by either, as Pro A is going to play the first Piranha stage. Alright, and Pro A is able to get to the pipe. uropsalis has to be careful of the munchers here. So it's just going to wait out that final Piranha plan. He is good to go. Let's see if that's the way out for Pro A. It is, unfortunately. We have to build that bridge, and uropsalis is about to find that out. Yep, uropsalis sees he's found the way out, but unfortunately, he has to play those two panels, that panel 3 and that panel 10, before he can get to the fort. Pro A, meanwhile, he's found his way into 5-6 with the parabeetles. Oh, uropsalis running into that parabeetle and taking a death there, so we'll have to try it again. 5-6, not exactly the easiest stage in the world, especially if you don't have any resources to help you out. Look at this, uropsalis going to try for the P-speed strats again. Unfortunately, he sees a star, and in this level, it actually isn't that helpful because it does take away those para-beetles there, but uropsalis makes it very nicely done. Meanwhile, Pro A is now in 7-2 with Boss Bass lurking, and now he's going to have to build that bridge and hope that he doesn't become a Boss Bass meal. uropsalis is now in that same 7-2. Hey, look at this, Pro A going to go for the power up here. You kind of can't fault him at this point, because you never know what kind of stuff's going to be at the end. uropsalis building that bridge, wants a few more blocks. Pro A nails the jump here on 4-2, or 7-2, excuse me. Just right, and Pro A is good to go. uropsalis just has to get through the barrage of pipes, and he's in there. So right now, they're pretty much neck and neck at the end of a couple of levels, but what fort do we have in store for both of these runners to tackle? It is going to be the Donut Fort 4F2. Apologize. Looks like Demon Battler has a few things IRL to take care of. Hopefully we'll get him back into the commentary shortly. So 4F2, the Donut Fort, pretty easy fort, but now when you have a lot of hot foots guarding the path, Pro A taking down Boom Boom without a problem. uropsalis needs to get the 3 hits, and he is in a little bit of a pickle here. Oh boy. Is he going to get him? He got him. Oh, that was a close call. uropsalis let him get away there, but able to escape with his life, and we'll move on to back to the island.
There we go.
Welcome back there, Demon Battler.
Hello, hello.
Alright, so now we have 2-5 up next for Pro A. uropsalis not that far behind.
2-5's, thankfully 2-5's pretty easy in general, so it's kind of...
When you see Paragoombas, that's not as fun, but Proa does escape. Who does get the fireworks, so he'll get 5 extra lives. It'll cost him a few seconds, but you never know, those extra lives may come in handy.
Oh yes, there have definitely been a couple times where that has helped a lot whenever I've done these seeds.
And a nice little breather there after a few difficult levels. We're going up the waterfall here, or as I like to call it, the 7-6 beta. No enemies to deal with, just swim up the waterfall until you get to the top and enter that pipe. Next up, Proa going to tackle the second Piranha stage here of World 7. Uropsalis picking up a Fire Flower, so you shouldn't have to worry about 3 of a kind. Oh, that was a Fire Nipper there. Proa was able to move quickly and picks up a Mushroom. That's kind of vanilla if you ask me. Uropsalis right behind him as we have the World 2 airship. As it's World 7, it is still going to be Ludwig von Koopa trying to perform his symphony, and Proa does collect the tail. Uropsalis already has a tail, so he won't even have to grab that question block. Let's see how heavy of a hitter he is. Boy, he's already shown off the moon jump there, and 2 hits is not enough. 3 hits, that won't do it either. How about 4? 4 hits it is, so a pretty thick Ludwig von Koopa, and the symphony is just about over, and it is over as both of our runners take down the Koopaling. We'll be moving on to the second world. So, predict what the next world is going to be. What do you think, Demon Battler?
I think we're gonna go with World 2. Keep it a little bit vanilla.
All right. I'm pining for that reverse order. Give me 6. And right in between, it's 4. Let's just split the difference. So no reverse order this time around. And as we got a letter from Bowser, in the vanilla game, you don't get an item with the letter. But in the randomizer, you do get something, but you have to check your inventory to figure out what that something is. It could be anything. Speaking of anything, there's a Jukum Cloud picked up by Proa, and Uropsalis picking up that same Jukum Cloud. So in World 4, we have to find the fort that is going to build that bridge to connect to the castle. Another Jugum Cloud here in World 4 as Uropsalis picks that up.
2 clouds early on is going to be pretty useful for them to bank.
Especially if you see something nasty like a 5-9, a 7-5, a 6-6, Atlantis. Looks like that is the only fort. No, there's 2 forts because I did see a lock. And that did build the bridge, so these runners are going to be... Oh, no, and Uropsalis takes a death to the hot foot at the end of 5F2, and that is not what you want to have when you're up against an opponent like Proa.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for him.
We have the World 7 airship. Proa already with the tail. That should make things much more smoother, especially when you have to make those difficult jumps, because it can get real slippery on those blue cylinders that they have to bounce on to get across. With the tail, it makes things a lot easier. Uropsalis does get it on the second attempt. Oh, and we've got an Earthquake Iggy here with that crazy hitbox. 2 hits won't do it. 3 hits won't do it. 4 hits won't do it. Maximum effectiveness of Iggy Koopa. Proa makes it look easy.
Meanwhile, Uropsalis is getting through the next Hammer Brother. Ooh, and gets a hammer.
Now, I don't believe Proa got that hammer, so that could come in handy, because remember, hammers do break locks in these flags.
I have to say, I feel old, given that I can actually recognize that reference.
Yes, from the Dire Straits song Money for Nothing. A fire flower is the gift we get from Princess Toadstool this time. And we've got World 3 up next.
And it looks like it's 5-1.
Indeed it is. You know, it just occurred to me, I believe that both of the piranha stages, because I actually didn't see the first one, both items were vanilla. You had the P-Wing on the first one and the mushroom on the second. That's double vanilla there. You don't see that very often. Panel 9 brings us one of the 3 hand stages. It is the Cheap stage. Every item that you'll see at the end of the hand stage will be the same, so if we see multiple hand stages, the item that you'll see will in fact be the same, as uropsalis does get through Iggy, and it's going to be a star. And that could come in handy, particularly at the start of Bowser's Castle. Got some more World 8 shenanigans here, Demon Battlers. We've now got the Super Tanks, one of the 4 branches of the Bowser military. uropsalis, meanwhile, he's on 5-1. Pro-A taking down Boom Boom, not a problem at all. And uropsalis clears 5-1, and he's got 2 flowers in a row, so he's going to want to be careful about picking up that 3rd flower.
Yeah, because even though a few extra lives is nice for safety, it's still something that the fanfare is not really very useful with. Especially, like, I'm kind of the opinion that if you have to go with the fanfare, you're better off with the star one then, because at least you get more out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 3 extra lives with the flower, 5 extra lives with the star, and 2 extra lives with the mushroom triples there, so... Pro-A just completed 3-2, and now uropsalis, gets the nice bounce off. Oh, and we get to see a little bit of aerial coverage of that. That's something you don't get to see very often. Very cool. Nice job there by uropsalis.
I actually didn't know it could scroll like that.
I didn't either. That's a first for me. Next up, we're staying with World 2, and this time we have 2-2. First level of the game where if you collect enough coins, you get the first of the 3 anchors that can be found. Here's uropsalis now at 3-2. uropsalis getting some nice bounces off the cheap there. Well played. Pro-A did struggle with that level a little bit, so uropsalis will be able to gain a little bit of time here. Pro-A's trying to find the escape to get to Wendy's castle. Uses a star, and that was a good move because of that fire, bro. Well, the old cliche, Demon Battler. Use a star, get a star.
Yep, but at least he also gets a fire flower out of the deal, so...
Yeah, and if he does find the way out to Wendy's castle, he'll want to try to get the fire kill on Wendy, and this looks like this pipe will be the one that does it. But is there a lock that's going to guard the path? There is indeed, so Pro-A gonna have to go back and play that forward.
And interestingly, this may actually be a chance for uropsalis to actually take a lead.
And if he is able to pick the right fort here, as we do have another of the branches of the military. This time it is the Air Force. Yeah, you're right about that, because remember, Pro-A does not have a hammer. uropsalis does. Checking the map, knows this is the pipe. He now knows that there is going to be a lock just based on the layout. Sees the lock, has the hammer, but doesn't use it. Do we have the right hand? Do we have the right flags? We have to have the right flags. I wonder if he's saving it for later. He must think it's too early to use it, and he wants to maybe either wait for World 8 or some other time. So an interesting strategy there. uropsalis decides not to use the hammer.
Admittedly, I don't really fault him. At this point, they only have seen the one. Well, he has only seen the one. So, it may be a case of they don't get very many. And if that's the case, then it might be better to hold off on it and use it later when it's more important.
Oh, Earthquake Wendy here! Pro-A wants to get that fire kill. And gets it. Well done by Pro-A. uropsalis also has that fire suit, so we know Wendy has Earthquake, so she's definitely bulked up on those Baconators. Problem is, though, uropsalis getting lost.
Yeah, that's kind of a downside to a map with a lot of pipes like this. If you're not very careful, it could be easy to lose track of where you're going.
So that's going to cost him a few seconds there, but still, you know, not that far behind Pro A, and we've got 5 worlds left to go. What world is going to be next, ladies and gentlemen?
I'm going to go with number 1.
How about number 6? So on the exact opposite of the spectrum, and going to check the pipe, and hopefully it's a pipe that'll lead him to somewhere close. Well, it does lead him closer, but now it's decision time. There's 2 locks, 3 forts. So it's vanilla, 3 forts. For all we know, there could be a bridge or a lock that is guarding the castle as uropsalis gets the natural kill on Wendy. Very well done, so he'll be moving on to World 6 himself. Look at that, another one of the Bowser military stages as proa007 is in the Navy.
Somewhere out there, Wolfman is singing happily. Very nicely done Navy stage by Proa.
Yeah, that is true. Human Mustard making a good point that he's hoping that he doesn't hammer that rock where that lock is, because that'll end up being a waste, but it could happen. You just never know. uropsalis is checking the pipes here. Sees the layout. Decision time. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Does not want the coin ship. It's much faster just to take the regular Hammer Bros stage. So he'll pick up the P-Wing for his efforts. Pro A, meanwhile, just wrapping up 3-1. Still has that fire suit intact and still has the lead. uropsalis is going back here. I wonder if he's thinking about playing the fort. That must be what he has in mind. Ooh, and Pro A finding 7F2, the Piranha Fort. Nasty.
Oh, that's a fort that spells doom for a lot of people.
Me, including myself, I hate this fort with a passion. I think every time when I was a kid, I just clouded over it and just hoped that I would get through the World 7 airship, because I really didn't like it. uropsalis playing a much more favorable fort. This is the World 2 fort, the Spike Fort. And yes, Human Mustard making a good point in chat. If this is the one that breaks an important lock or builds a bridge, that could be a huge advantage for uropsalis here. We'll see how this plays out. Pro A manages to squeak by both the Disco Waffles and the Thwomp, and is going to keep that fire suit intact to get the easy boom boom kill. You don't see that very often in this fort, Demon.
Oh no, usually you have to take some kind of damage in order to get through it.
Well, let's see. Pro A has completed it. A lock has to be broken now!
Oh.
That's interesting.
Oh, that's disappointing. uropsalis just used the hammer, I'm assuming, to try to break the rock, and it broke the lock going to the mushroom house instead.
So, the thing that Human Mustard was talking about, that's exactly what happened with uropsalis, so... Unfortunate, but that is the way it goes. I don't know what the basis of the termination is. Does it always break to the north? I wonder what the order is. I'm sure Human Mustard would know.
I'm actually curious because if I remember the last time someone mentioned it, I think they had said maybe it defaulted to the rock because that was what it naturally was for, but it looks like that theory is not really true now.
Nope, it is just an urban legend, as Pro A is now going to get through the World 2 fort. So yeah, that's a real bad break there for uropsalis, and few people saw it coming, and unfortunately, those few people were right. Pro A has the lock broken, so he's on his way to the fort, and it's the World 4 airship. Here's uropsalis now, having to take on 7F2. Pro A again gets the fire kill off of Levy. Well done. uropsalis now in trouble in 7F2, but he's going to get that mushroom back.
watching this fort makes me anxious.
Yeah, and you don't get many iframes either, so you really got to make sure that your jumps, your crouches, and your movement is pristine in this fort, and uropsalis gets the job done.
Oh, there's another old-time reference. I believe we're not in the Mushroom Kingdom anymore.
Despite that, uropsalis actually isn't all that far back, as we now have 6F1, the escalator fort. So uropsalis is definitely in there, but yeah, losing out on that hammer is going to sting, because there's probably better places where that could have come in handy. You may very well see that a little bit later.
The sad part, too, is I'm willing to bet that fort that he had cleared was the one that would break that lock. So had that actually broken the lock, that probably would have given him a pretty decent lead.
I'll tell you what, though, Lemmy was a jumbo shrimp there, and uropsalis barely escapes yet again. So at least he has kept pace with Pro A. But yeah, you're absolutely right. The loss of that hammer very well could be the turning point of this one, because could have skipped out on that fort, you know. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. But who knows? Maybe it's one of those situations where the hammer just isn't that valuable. You just never know if it's one of those seeds. Did you see that? Pro A clipped into the block right before the pipe there in 4-2.
That was an interesting little clip.
I've actually seen that happen once. I believe Stewie Cartman was in the World 4 airship, clipped into the wall, and went to his death because it was a flame jet.
Oh, that's bad. That has to feel bad.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because I remember I was on the call for that one. As Pro A picks up another P-Wing here at the end of that Hammer Brothers stage, and we'll be moving on to the airship, and this will be the World 3 airship, so it'll be Larry Koopa on flat ground. And uropsalis is going to be looking for a star here. Instead, he's going to pick up a leaf, so he won't even be able to get the quick kill on Boom Boom. Meanwhile, Pro A, getting Matumboed there by Larry. And 2 hits will do it, though, so he's moving on to the next world. So we're down to the nitty-gritty. It's either going to be 2 or 5. Make your predictions now.
I'm going to guess with 5.
I think we're going to wrap it up with 5, so I'll say 2. Uropsalis losing that tail here in 4-2. He's trying to get some P-speed strats going. It just didn't quite work out for him, but nonetheless, he does escape 4-2, and we'll be moving on to the next level. As we get a leaf this time, and sure enough, it is World 2, so we're saving Sky World for last before World 8. Here's 1-4. Using a star, and probably not a bad idea, is able to take down the Hammer Brothers, even though that one was trying to be a troll sting below the ground there, but does get his P-Wing, and now he's on to the airship. A question in chat, have they done World 7? They have. The last one that is left is World 5.
So let's see where this pipe is going to take them. Based on what we see on the map so far, it looks like it'll be a pretty far trip.
Oh, look at this. This is where the hammer could have come into play for uropsalis. Gotta beat this fort, and we are blocked by that lock. Because then, you see, uropsalis could have clouded, and he could have used the hammer to skip both the fort and the pyramid stage, whatever it might end up being there. So, and this is the World 8 fort, which is definitely a more lengthier fort there. So yeah, this is an opportunity that uropsalis is losing here. Leslie Pro exactly pointing out in chat, that could have been massive indeed. Definitely could have given uropsalis the lead.
Ooh, Pro gets the 1 cycle.
Yeah, somebody skilled like Pro A, he's going to get that 1 cycle almost every time. Now just has to take care of Boom Boom, and he's got him. Uropsalis, meanwhile, using that cloud to skip that 1 level. Now he's in the World 8 fort too. So again, keeping pace with Pro A at the moment. Checking the inventory, and there are no clouds left for Pro A, so he's going to have to play this level, and it's going to be 5-7. that Fire Flower, and he's not going to be able to one cycle, so he'll have to hit the P-switch again, grab the power. It's a star, so he may be able to get a star kill on Boom Boom. Should be able to get it as Pro A clears 5-7, and bang! uropsalis does get the all-important star kill. Very nice.
And enjoy the upside-down orb.
Or Bro, as we like to call it sometimes, as we have the World 1 airship now. Here's uropsalis also in that same 5-7. So again, keeping pace with Pro A, but still just a little bit behind. Morton Koopa, 3 hits is not enough. 4 hits is enough, so he was definitely on the salty side in this one. uropsalis gets through 5-7, so he'll be on his way to the airship 2. Pro A is going to keep that lead. The way this is shaping up, Demon Battler, this could come down to World 8, the Great Equalizer. Unfortunately, uropsalis going to have to play this coin ship whether he likes it or not. It's guarding his path. 5-hitter. I did not see the first hit, so it was the maximum number of salt intake. I was just going to have to put him on that low sodium diet. We'll see if that happens in race number 2 as uropsalis gets his star. A mushroom from the princess this time.
That's a little... Seeing the star is a little disheartening, because I was thinking Pro hadn't fought that ship, so depending on what the item was, that may have been able to help a lot more in the future.
Pro A is going to play 4F1, banking that it is going to be required somewhere down the road here. So, if uropsalis skips the 4 and just takes the pipe instead, he's taking a chance. But it could be a good chance. Pro A takes down the Boom Boom in 4F1. uropsalis now on his way to the penultimate world. Yeah, he didn't check the pipe. For all we know, that fort might not have been required, but we'll see.
Interesting decision to use the music box right there.
That's nasty here. Oh, this could be one of those situations where a lead could swing. Pro A gonna have to do the clip with the tail here at 7-1. Nice job, though. Pro A is able to get it, and here we go. uropsalis gonna be down that pipe. Where is that lock? It's in the way!
Oh, that's disappointing, man.
Yep, that's unfortunately Pro A right again, so his instinct was true, so he's going to build on that lead on uropsalis as we now have the 3-9 beta. uropsalis picks up a P-wing on that Hamburger stage. So yet again, another situation where that hammer could have come into play. Man, you hate to see it, folks. You just hate to see it. But one thing you always like to see is use a star, get another star.
Ooh, 1 fort.
Very interesting indeed. So we have the World 1 fort, so that's going to build that bridge on the other half. That's why it's here. So it's actually an optional fort if you had the P-wing or the Drugum Cloud. Speaking of Drugum Clouds, all I had to do was talk about it, Demon Battler, and the situation presents itself.
Figures they'd get a cloud in the sky world, huh?
Yeah, that is definitely not an insignificant cloud there. It very well could come in handy for Pro A in World 8 if he has to skip a levels, because we have the World 5 airship to close things out against Roy Koopa. Let's see how strong he is. Well, 1's not going to cut it. 2 won't be enough. Oh, he gets hitboxed there. That's 3 hits. 4 hitters. We've had some beefy Koopalings as uropsalis now going to try to get the clip here in 7-1. Should be a little bit easier without the tail, but he is struggling with it. He's been jumping a little bit early at a few occasions where he might have had a shot at getting the clip there. All right, people in chat, predict how many bridges it is going to take to build the path to Bowser's Castle. 0 through 4, 1.
I'm gonna guess 2 bridges.
2 bridges as we get a Tanuki suit at the end. Unfortunately, this 7-1 clip is being an equalizer. Well, speaking of equalizers, the great equalizer, it's a hand. uropsalis giving up is just going to take the intentional. I wonder if he has a Jugum Cloud left. And Pro A.
I think so, because I believe he ended up getting 2 in World 4, whereas Pro only got 1. Oh, he doesn't have one, actually.
Nope, he's used them both. And Pro A gets grabbed by the hand a second time. So this is where the hands can come into play in this world. This time he uses a P-Wing and, of course, doesn't get through it. uropsalis gets it on the first try after the fact. Man. Alright, so it's not going to be 4 bridges. We see 1 lock there.
Oh,
There's another.
Nearly got eaten by the boss bass.
Right, close call there for uropsalis. Pro A, so it's not going to be 2. It's going to be only maximum 2 bridges, so it's 0, 1, or 2 now at this point. It's 1. And it could be 6F2 the ice fort. There's a possibility. Of course, it could have been 0. Always could have been 0. Alright, here comes the boom boom pipe for Pro A. If this builds the bridge, he's going to be golden. uropsalis also going to pick up that same Jugum Cloud that we saw Pro A pick up in the World 1 fort. Does not build the bridge, though, so we keep on playing. That could be huge if uropsalis decides to play forts early.
Yeah, in World 8, I've seen a number of runners just go ahead and play through as many of the forts as they can to begin with, just to get them out of the way and avoid backtracking.
By the way, Demon Battler, 3F2 in World 8. I'm shocked. As you can tell, that's a sarcastic shock. This wouldn't surprise me if 3F2 was the gatekeeper, because it is a lot of times in the randomizer. Why? I don't know. It just is.
Well, all we know for sure is that it's going to be some hot water, so...
It very well is hot water. It could be hot water for uropsalis, as if this indeed is the one that builds the bridge. uropsalis is going to be on his way to World 8 in a little bit. Well, that didn't break a lock, so it either broke the lock that was on the hand bridge, or that built the bridge. Oh, uropsalis got to it quickly, too. It built the bridge! Pro A is golden, so 3F2 was indeed the gatekeeper.
And Proa has a hammer suit and a star, so he can easily avoid these lasers.
Yeah, he's in the catbird seat right now. All he has to do is keep the sheet clean here in the World 8-4, and he will take this match. But I'll tell you what, uropsalis was definitely there all the way. Just that one hammer that he got, which could have been useful to him, unfortunately went down the drain for him in just the worst opportune time there. So that ended up being the difference there. As Pro A tries for the clip once, decides not to go for it, and is going to take the top route. Let's see what kind of pattern we get. It's often dangerous to see those fireballs and lasers. So far, just the one fireball. And there was a laser at the end, so the fireballs were very kind, but yeah, that laser could have gotten ugly. As Bowser goes down, get your GGs out for proa007. He takes home game number 1. Man, you look at this difference here, because now uropsalis has found the correct fort in 3F2. I mean, he was right there. That hammer could have been a key to getting back into this match there, Demon Battler. Unfortunately, just threw it away, and you hate to see it, but he played a great race, I mean, I must say.
Oh, yes. 33:18 official time for Proa.
Now, that's a really, really good time. As uropsalis takes down the Boom Boom here in 3F2, so I would imagine he'll check, because he sees that nothing broke on that screen. He'll go back. He'll see that the bridge has been built. And he'll be on his way to take down Bowser. He does have that star handy, so using the Jugum Cloud just for good measure, here we go. right, gets that everyman's clip on the first try. Let's see if he goes for the top clip. He tries for it, but he's not going to go through that door. At least not yet. How many attempts will he take before he just cashes in his chips? He's not giving up. 5 tries. He gets it. Well done. So here we go. Hi, Bowser. And bye, Bowser. Uropsalis is going to finish roughly 2 minutes behind Pro A. In fact, a little bit less than 2 minutes. Let's get the official time. Racetime GG shows that Uropsalis' official time is 35 minutes and 16 seconds, so just under 2 minutes. So fairly close race between the two runners. Again,
Yeah, pretty
Uropsalis
good.
is right there. Yeah, good race between the two of them. I'll tell you what, might be even closer in the second race.
No major mistakes either. I mean, the hammer issue with Uropsalis was a bit of bad luck, but it wasn't really anything to their fault.
No, not at all. I mean, it's just one of those situations where, and that's like, I guess that's a question I'm going to have to ask Fred. What is the logic behind which thing will break when you use a hammer if there's a lock and a boulder in your way? That's a good question. I'm going to have to pick his brain on that one. But in any event, that is going to do it for game number 1. We're going to take a short break here. When we come back, we're going to have game number 2 between proa007 and Uropsalis. Same sets of flags. You don't want to miss it, so stay tuned. We'll be back. All right, folks, welcome back to game number 2 of the doubleheader between proa007 and uropsalis here on SpeedGaming 3. LOZ Cards fan, along with Demon Battler here. Very close game between proa007 and uropsalis in game number 1. That hammer, though, uropsalis was talking about it, says lost that dice roll. He was hoping it would break that boulder. Didn't work out for him. Proa was able to hang on by just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, unfortunately, that may have made an important change in how things would have ended. But that's in the past. Now they're about to start up the next one. And they're very close. They're very close on the first one. So who knows? This may actually swing the other way this time around.
All right, people in chat, predict what the first world is going to be. You know, we ended with 5 last time. I think we're going to start with 5. What do you think, Demon Battler?
I think I'm going to agree with you. I think we're going to start on 5.
All right, and people in chat, you make that prediction as well. Race number 2. So Pro A is 1 up in the standings. By the way, incidentally, this is the very first set of matches by anybody in Group K. So Pro A trying to sweep the battle, and uropsalis trying to even things up.
Well, look at that. It actually is World 5.
All right. How do you like them apples? Pro A, that might have been intentional. He did not want to take the paradox pipe. Because look at the carnage. There are 3, count them, 3 fortresses here in World 5, and they're all on the first part of the map. And we're starting with the Hammer Bros party mix. Yikes. Pro A is able to take down the first couple, and is going to ignore the 1-up. Interesting. Hey, that Hammer Bro's like, I'll just get out of the way right now.
And music boxes for the hand stages. Not very useful, but maybe if one wants to speed it up and later on.
Yeah, could come in handy in World 7, so if you're going to get a music box, yeah, get it before World 7. So yeah, not the most useful item in the world, but it will serve its purpose potentially in World 7 or elsewhere, as Pro A picks up a frog suit in the Mushroom House, and let's see what our first fort is going to be. 5F1. Well, that's about as vanilla as it comes. Oh, and we have 7F2. What an ugly start to this seed. Some very nasty forts. I mean, 5F1's not that bad. When I was a kid, I thought it was bad, but 7F2, we've already talked about it. The Piranha Fort, not fun.
And on top of that, they don't have very many power-ups at this point either.
Yep, and uropsalis running into the Piranha plant, and he'll have to try it again. Of course, he may just decide go around, or he's going to play, now he's going to play the, use that star. It's a good idea. Another music box. Man, this seed is full of the greatest hits, I must say. Now we have 6F1. The escalator fort is back again. My goodness, I mean, these are not the most prettiest forts to play in the world. I mean, the best one's 5F1.
On the positive spin, though, at least this means they won't really have to worry about these later on down the road. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, if I'm going to be starting a seed, these are not 3 forts I want to be playing first. As uropsalis gets that star, but now has to get through the rest, and unfortunately, one of those hot foots is the crazy variety. The rest is smooth sailing, but he has to take down the Boom Boom here. Let's see what happens. 2, 3. Down he goes, and Boom Boom going down also for Pro A in 5 or 6F1. Now he's got a clear path. And unfortunately, uropsalis sees the bad news. That is not the fort that's going to be the one that's going to help him out. This one will be, though. So this is the 7.3 beta. And the reason why I know it's the 7.3 beta is because of that pipe. Because there is a coin heaven in the beta stage. There's not a coin heaven in the actual level. So that was the 7.3 beta that Pro just completed there.
Oh, interesting. See, I know that I remember wondering that before last time, whether it was for 3.7 or if it was for Or, I mean, 7-3 or 3-4. That's good to know now.
Yeah, because these stages look similar because it's grassland and you've got the Lakitu that throws those green spiky balls. Yes, exactly. Pro A now. Oh, another ugly level! 6-6! This is a nightmare of a World 5 here, Demon Battler.
Yeah, this is... wow. Like... I don't know how this could get... The only way this could be any worse is if there would be, like required Atlantis or something.
Don't jinx it! Of course, the audience would love to see an Atlantis right here, but I don't think these runners would like to see that. Yeah, 6-6 usually has nasty enemies, piranha plants that shoot fireballs at you, and oh god, this gauntlet. Oh, this could get really ugly for maybe uropsalis here. Pro A navigates it like a pro, though. My goodness. So he should be home free. Yeah, he's there. That was a well-played 6-6 there by Pro A. As uropsalis picks up a P-Wing on the Hammer Brothers stage, and Pro A, well, we can't wait to get out of that one. So now uropsalis also on the 7-3 beta. And next up, we've got the World 7 airship to top it all off. My goodness, what a World 5 to start things off.
Yeah, this may be one of the cruelest opening worlds I've ever seen.
It's definitely up there, Demon Battler. It is definitely up there. Is uropsalis going to skip out on the 5 extra lives and pick up the 1-up to avoid the fireworks animation? Pro A will have to take on Roy, and boy, he's got that moon jump just like Ludwig. 2 hits, that won't do it. 3 hits, that'll do it. Uropsalis, that was a good idea to take it a little bit slow because you never know what kind of enemies you're going to have to deal with that are going to take you down. So, smart movements there as Pro A is going to be moving on to the next world. People in chat, what world is going to be next?
Yeah, I've learned that with that beta stage, you definitely need to slow down whenever those enemies are getting ready to show up because otherwise, you're likely to run into something and have to do it all over again.
And we get an anchor, our little wild card there, could be anything. And uropsalis will pick up a star. He's got a mushroom, so he'll be able to at least take 1 hit, but this is still going to be tough to negotiate as we now have super tanks on Pro A's side. Ooh, uropsalis almost got too close to the Big Bertha, and he does get too close. There is a mushroom coming up, but it's in a bad spot. He's going to have to skip it. This, like I said, those triple fire prawns, this could get ugly here.
See, oof.
Didn't even get to him.
The worst part about 6-6, especially in the randomizer, is the fact that not only do they have all these enemies, but that also creates a lot of lag for you to have to deal with as well.
Yeah, not only that, it's unskippable because you can't fly over like some of those levels. So we have World 3 now. uropsalis, now he could go back to pick up the Fire Flower, but he's going to skip it. We now have Homer Simpson's favorite level, 5-5.
I actually think once he went down, I think the Fire Flower might have despawned anyway.
Yeah, one of them did, but then the other one picks him off, and I hate to say that I was a prognosticator on this, but I told you that this could get ugly in 6-6, and unfortunately, I haven't been wrong. Oh, and a free path for Pro A. He is through, and we've got the World 4 airship. Alright, there's a Fire Flower, so we could get a fire kill on Wendy, but the terrain's going to be a little bit difficult. No Earthquake this time for Wendy, and gets the fire kill. Well played there by Pro A.
Yeah, very good idea to get the fire kills. That way he only has to deal with one ring.
And uropsalis, meanwhile, gets through the triple piranha this time, so he's got a good chance to get through. He's there. Well played.
That was some very impressive dodging with the fireballs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, unfortunately, the damage has been done, and things can still happen. You never know here, because this is Super Mario Brothers 3 Randomizer after all, as we get a Tanuki suit. And next up, World 4. Of course, World 4, we've got to build that bridge. The only question is, which fort is it going to be? Well, he's going to pick up this one, and we've got the Navy once again. And yes, Pro 8 can sail the 7 seas. uropsalis, meanwhile, does take down Roy, so he'll be moving on to World 2, which ended up being World 3.
Well, the good thing, at least, is that we know that World 3 isn't going to be that bad to get through, so he'll be able to catch up kind of easily, at least somewhat.
And guess what? Pro 8 guessed right. That was the ticket. The Navy was our bridge builder. And he will play the coin ship. He'll be able to pick up some coins toward a 1-up. And an item, but he's going to have to take down 2 with the fire suit. Just a couple shots, and they are out. Gets a P-wing for his efforts. Now we have the World 2 airship. Iggy Koopa will await Pro A. Again. Keeping that fire suit. Gonna try to get that fire kill. No earthquake again. It's just a one-hitter, though. Pro A's gotta love that. Alright, people in chat. So we've got 3, 4, and 5 off the board. What world is going to be next? So here's uropsalis. Ooh, is able to dodge those, the fire snake and the fire chomp there. We've got a star from the princess as it's World 7. People said World 7. Very good, you were right. And again, another branch of the military. It's gotten a lot of love here tonight. We've got the Air Force. The Air Force. The Air Force.
I'm curious to see how much of a troll this world's going to be.
Well, the pipe maze tends to be a troll more often than not. I mean, it definitely was in the first race. Meanwhile, uropsalis here on the World 4 airship. Going to pick up the fire flower. So he'll have a shot at the quick kill, but opting for the... Oh, it's just a 2-hitter, so just the junior cheeseburger today for Wendy. Now we have 6-9. Boy, we've been seeing a lot of these. I mean, 6-9 is not nearly as bad as 6-6, although I thought 6-9 was a pretty nasty level as a kid. But I'd take 6-9 over 6-6 every day of the week, twice on Sunday.
Oh, definitely. I will say, though, it felt interesting to see the stage, because I'm so used to seeing everyone just skip over it or jump over it.
Right, they'll either use a P-wing to fly over it, or they'll try to do the wall jump. But Pro A opting not to do either one of those. It's harder to do it when you're big. It's much easier to do it when you're small. Unfortunately, Pro A found the stealth pipe, or AKA the pipe with the view. 6-3 is up next for Pro A.
Meanwhile, uropsalis is sitting nice in the Navy.
Pro A is able to use the paratrooper to get over the rest of that gap and finish off 6-3. And uropsalis also guessing correctly, so back the way he came, and he'll be able to take on Iggy as well, just the one-hitter, as you recall. Pro We're going to put the music box to use here in World 7 by skipping that. And that takes him right to the end.
Oh, 5-6. That's an interesting stage to have to deal with.
Yeah, not the most friendliest stage to play. Having to go through these pair of beetles and hopefully not see a star. There was no star this time around. Just a fire snake going harmlessly into the ground. Not having to worry about it. Pro A gets through 5-6. Meanwhile, uropsalis taking down Iggy Koopa, so he'll be moving on to the pipe maze as well. But Pro A, unfortunately, the music box runs out, so he's going to have to play the second Piranha stage. But for all we know, there could be something good here. And he picks up a star. Well, not the best thing in the world, but certainly not the worst. That star could come in handy for Bowser's Castle. Again, we saw that come into use in the last race for both runners.
So it looks like this is the World... Is this the World 3 airship?
It is indeed the World 3 airship, yes. Gonna have flat surface for the moon jumper Ludwig von Koopa trying to play that concerto, and so far he's got 3 hits, and 3 hits it is. Uropsalis has made it to 6-9. He's going to try for the wall jump. Just once, though.
See, I didn't even know you could do the wall jump as Big Mario.
You can, but it's a lot more difficult than small. I think it has to do with the sub-pixel or whatever that is. I mean, people think that CV2 is the only game where you have to worry about sub-pixels when doing these glitched tricks here, but Super Mario Bros. 3 has those same sub-pixel rules, as we now have 6-2 on the board for Pro A. I personally think that 6-2 is harder without the auto-scroller because you can't see what's below you, and if you don't know the layout very well, you can easily fall to your death.
Agreed. It's... Sometimes the auto-scrolling is bad because it's so slow, but at the same time, those stages are meant to be used with an auto-scroller, so taking it away can definitely be scary.
Yeah, no question about it here. Uropsalis trying to finish off 6-3 there. Once again, use a star, get a star as Pro A picks off the Hammer Bro here in World 6. So that means we're down to Worlds 1 and 2. Alright, so here's 3-9 Beta. You saw that in the first race, and this one's got an angry sun. But luckily, we don't have to worry about it for very long. Uropsalis deciding to use the star here in the Piranha stage. He'll pick up his hammer. Remember, that was the Piranha stage that Pro A ended up skipping. So interesting that once again he's up 1 hammer on Pro A.
Yeah, that can make a big difference later down the road. Also, I have to admit, it's funny to see that Pro had hesitated at that beta stage just for a second, just to see if there would be a boss bass run up or not.
No, I definitely can't fault him for that. Now, you were talking about 3-4 earlier. Here's 3-4 where Pro A is at. Not a problem at all there for Pro A. Uropsalis, he's going to use the music box on that one, so he's going to miss out on that star. So a little bit of different order of operations on the music box. So Uropsalis, again, gaining that hammer and still skipping out on one of the 2 Piranha stages. Oh, but Uropsalis in some trouble here. Pro A, though, picks up a Jugum Cloud, but gets pulled into another Hammer Brother fight, whether he likes it or not. Easy pickings, though. Uropsalis needs 1 more hit. Back-to-back Jugum Clouds. How about that demon?
That's going to be pretty interesting to see, because anytime you have 2 clouds, that can be a lot of that could be a lot of save time.
Oh, absolutely. And, it could come in handy in either World 1 or World 2. Those are the 2 that we have left in play. Because you tend to see the ends of both of them guarded by a couple of levels. So definitely could come in handy for Pro A, as Uropsalis is also going to make his way into the same place, World 6. So the anchor turned out to be a mushroom today. And we're sticking with World 3. We had 3-4, now we've got 3-5. Uropsalis making quick work of the 6-2. Oh, see what I talk about? That blind jump there? He almost fell off there, Demon.
Yep. Meanwhile, Proa had to wait for Big Bertha to get out of the way of that pipe.
Certainly, but does manage to pull through, and we'll move on to the next level. Now we have 6-5. I don't believe we saw this on Pro A's side.
I don't believe so. Also, notice, they're back on the same world, so Uropsalis has managed to get the gap cut down to about half a world.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Pro A, I believe that was a meal there. It looks like he may decide to skip it or something else. Yeah, I don't think that was intentional there, Demon. So now Pro A gonna have to use these Cooper shells to hopefully take down Boss Pass one more time. Now this might be a situation here. I've not gotten a good look at the pipes here, but Uropsalis is gonna probably think twice about using that hammer here. Yeah, he's not gonna use it. He knows it's a trap, so he's gonna save it for. Probably going to use that hammer at World 2, I would imagine, is, hey, look, 3F2 not in World 8. How about that, Demon Battler?
Yeah, there's a surprise. There's an actual surprise right there.
Yeah, absolutely, which means, you know what that means, though? That means we're probably going to see World 8 in World 8, because that's my other wild card when it comes to ports in this game.
True. Also, Uropsalis noticed finding out there's a bridge blocking that pipe towards the castle, so gonna have to take the long way around.
Yep, absolutely. So now Uropsalis, he's playing 3-4. This Pro A is gonna get ready to wrap up 3F2, and does so. The underwater fort down. Nice shot there by Uropsalis, taking out the Lakitu at the end. That was pretty cool.
Oh, I'm curious. Oh, right. It took me a second to figure out why Proa was backtracking.
That's the pipe that's going to take him to the other pipe that'll build the bridge. So that is going to do it. Pro A will be moving on to the airship. Uropsalis, though, having some problems here in 3-9. You said that there was a troll Cheep Cheep or something down here, so he's going to have to be careful. The blooper had the ice brick, though. That was a beautiful shot on that ice brick there by Uropsalis.
Yeah, I believe they had a Cheep Cheep that had flown up into where the H jump is.
Oh, one of those rocket Cheep Cheeps. Yeah, those ones can be nasty. They look cool, but they're actually pretty darn annoying when you're the player. As Pro A finds out that Lemmy is not a shrimp again. 3 hits. He's the jumbo shrimp. He is the colossal shrimp. 5 hits. Pro A takes him down as Uropsalis picks up his Jugo Cloud. So, all right, 1 or 2, ladies and gentlemen. 2 or 1.
Oh, that's interesting. Uropsalis is not fighting the other Hammer Brother, so that's going to be 1 cloud that he's not going to get access to.
True, he must figure that he's behind at this point. But yeah, that Jugo Cloud may come in handy for Pro A, whereas Uropsalis won't get that benefit. But for all we know, there might not be any good opportune times to use the Jugum. So we'll see how this plays out as we move on to World 1. 2 will finish things up.
Well, interestingly enough, too, uropsalis still has that hammer that Proa doesn't have. So each of them has an item that the other doesn't that may end up helping save some time.
Exactly. And I did see that there was a lock guarding Pro A's progress. And that ended up being the only fort. Yes, uropsalis will gain 2 levels with the hammer that he's picked up. So he will be able to gain some time with the use of that hammer. Fort, well, it's 4F2, which is a quick one, so definitely not the worst thing in the world.
Uropsalis being a little bit lucky with being able to take out that boss bass, because it was a little bit too high for my comfort.
Oh, no question about it. Now, uropsalis is down here in 3F2. That'll be the one that'll build the bridge. We got panels 1 and 4 left to go, and a couple of Jugen Clouds, and Pro is going to use both of them here. So we'll see what kind of levels that uropsalis is going to have to play out, because remember, he doesn't have 2 Jugen Clouds, he has 1. Oh, and look at that, Pro A picking up a hammer. So any advantage that uropsalis could have gained on Pro A in World 7, which will end up being World 2, that's going to be neutralized there. Down. So he'll be moving on to World 2. Uropsalis, once again, though, unfortunately, getting lost, picking the wrong pipes here. Got a route better than that. So now here comes uropsalis. And we get a Tanuki suit from the princess. And let's take a look at the map. We got 2 forts. And it looks like they're both in the way, so no shortcuts.
Yeah, so in this case, there may actually... uropsalis may actually have a little bit better of a catch-up because of that. Because the hammer that Proa has won't be able to do that. I don't think it'll be able to do a whole lot for him.
Meanwhile, uropsalis does take down the gigantic shrimp and Lemmy, a 5-hitter. Pro A takes care of his fort. We haven't seen this one yet. 3-7, the stage I like to call jackpot, because at the end of the coin heaven here is an item. Now, mostly you're going to see runners not do the coin heaven because auto-scrollers are normally turned off, but there are 3 exceptions. 5-9, Atlantis, which we haven't seen yet, or 5-9 for that matter. But also coin heavens, auto-scrollers are still on of that. But that there is one coin heaven you might see runners play, and that's the one here in 3-7.
Ooh, uropsalis takes an unfortunate death right there. However, he did use the hammer to break that lock, so that's gonna cut down on a little bit of time. Ooh, and he uses his cloud to cut through that stage.
And ends up with 3. Yeah, that's a good idea because the pyramid stage is definitely on the longer side, so it'll end up being a good use unless he takes a death. So he's got to make sure he keeps this clean. He should be fine though. Yeah, he's there. So yep, the hammer does break the lock. So yep, neither player is going to gain any kind of significant advantage there, because we do have now the World 5 airship to close things out. Yeah, uropsalis having some problems with the Hammer Brothers here. Gonna go into the Mushroom House as we got Morton Koopa. 2 hits. That's not gonna do it. Extra salty again. Boy, I guess Bowser wasn't listening. Morton Koopa with the big-time HP here, and Pro A does get the animation skip. All right, People in chat predict how many bridges it is going to take to build the path to Bowser's Castle. So last time it was 1. You know what? It's going to be 1 again.
I think it's going to be a little trolly and use 3.
Well, look at this. 4 pipes to choose from. Yeah, this has the potential of a lot of bridges. I don't see any locks yet. Now Pro-A going to check this pipe. Takes us to another part. Well, there's 1 lock, and there's a hand. So he's probably going to take the 100. What a place for a hand stage at 7-4. So that's going to lose him some time. Because he's going to have to take... Or he may play this out. Oh, he's playing it out. No, he's not playing it out. He just wanted to go down the hole. So it's not going to be 4 bridges. It still could be 3. It very well could be 3 because there's no locks here either. So if there's no other locks on that screen, this could be a 3-bridger here. Uropsalis, though, unfortunately having problems making that jump, so that star is going to wear out. So now he's going to have to deal with this thwomp and gets by. Well done. So 4 F1 is in the books, 3 F1 in the books for Pro-A. Well, it either broke a lock or it built a bridge. We're going to take a look, see where this pipe goes. He wants to check the other pipe. But there's another lock and then another lock. This could be a 1-bridger.
Yeah, this very well could be now.
Now, all the locks were just bunched in that cluster down there. Oh, but Pro-A gets grabbed by the hand here, and we've got 7-3. So we've had all 3. We've had 3-4, 7-3, and the 7-3 beta. Yeah, everybody was rooting for Atlantis there, but just not getting their wish tonight, I'm afraid. And also, no 5-9, no 7-5. We haven't seen those ones either. 3-6 is another one we haven't seen. 1-1, 1-2. You know what? We haven't seen very many World 1 stages at all tonight. I think we saw 1-4 once. That's about it. 2 bridges.
I think you're right.
See if 6F2 ends up being the gatekeeper. Down goes Morton for Uropsalis, so he'll be on his way to World 8, but it's looking pretty good for Pro-A to pull this one off, because again, 2 bridges need to be built. Will the Ice Fort be the other bridge? No! I'm telling you, it's World 8 Fort.
So it's time to go back in there and figure out what have to figure out which other one it is.
Here's the World 2 Fort. I think somebody was mentioning the World 2 Fort coming up a lot. So there you go, the Spike Fort. This could be the gatekeeper. Looks like Uropsalis checking all of his options. Sees the lock, wants no part of it. Well, that broke the lock, so this one's going to be it. It's not the World 8 Fort. How about that? We've got 5F2 this time as the gatekeeper. This will be the one that builds the bridge. right, proa getting the fire kill here. uropsalis definitely on the right track, but his time is just about up here as proa has that final bridge built. He'll be on his way, and no Atlantis, no 5-9, no 7-5. A lot of those nasty stages we didn't see. You know, we didn't see 7-8 either. That's another nasty one. Oh, and uropsalis getting burned in 3F1.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate.
There are the bridges built for proa. He's got the hammer suit. He's got the star. Once again, in the driver's seat. So he's looking good to go 2-0. Be well on his way to the bracket stages. Nice shot with the hammer to take down the dry bones.
Pro getting the Everman's clip.
Didn't get the one up though, so run invalidated. Just teasing, of course. Tries to get the clip once, doesn't get it, so he's going to go for the top door again. Last time he was able to survive. How about the second time in a row? Let's see. So far, the fireballs have been okay. Last one's going to be tough. It doesn't get through. So this time, fireballs do extinguish his hammer suit. He'll have to play the traditional way.
At least we'll be able to show off Bowser's goofy hitbox here. So
yeah, that's exactly right there, Demon Battler, because only the head of Bowser is the hitbox. You can stay below that and not take any damage, but you just want to make sure that you stay out of the line of fire, because you can still get burned by his fireballs. I've seen races where they were in the wrong part of the hitbox of Bowser and ended up getting fireballed, losing a race in the process. Down goes Bowser. Get your GGs out for proa007. Sweeps the twin bill and takes a 2-0 record at the end of his first set of matches in group play.
Definitely a very good start. Oh, interesting. I didn't know you could actually take damage in the in that flower in 7-4.
Oh yes. Oh yes, you definitely can.
So Proa finishes with a time of 35:37.
Yep, big pair of wins tonight here for proa. uropsalis gave him a good battle, but in the end, proa just a little bit too much tonight.
Meanwhile, uropsalis is playing a game of cat and mouse with the boss bass in 6-6.
4-6,
not
actually.
4-6, sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, 6-6, I don't think uropsalis want to talk about that. Or either runner for that matter, because that was a nasty start to this seed. Now, uropsalis has to watch out for that final enemy. It's just one of those floating paratroopers. He's there. Now here's 5F2. 5F2 got uropsalis last time he played it. We'll see what happens this time. Will he make the proper... Oh! Might have been a yummy input right there. The good old-fashioned Super Mario Bros. 3. I hit the jump button and the game says, no, you didn't.
Yep, sometimes the game decides that your inputs are optional.
I know, right? But unfortunately for uropsalis, he's going to have to play that fort because it's required to build that second bridge. Yep, he's going to find out the bad news right about now. He's going to play this stage, which is 6F2. He's hoping it builds the bridge. We know it does not. So again, this is one of those situations where the great equalizer could have come into play, because had uropsalis had the lead, I think proa would have caught up just because of the routing here.
I think so. Unfortunately, this fort's not really important here, but at the same time, I don't necessarily blame them for trying, because I know I would have done the same thing, hoping that it would open it.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of players would have done the same thing. If they would have seen that fort there, they'd have played it, hoping that it would build the bridge. In this case, that's not to be, so he's going to have to go back to 5F2. And ladies and gentlemen, we do have our winner here, proa007 here in the commentator's booth. GG, well played both times in a row. 2-0 to start things off in Group K. How you feeling?
Pretty good. Pretty good. A couple of interesting starts tonight. This was not at least not for me, it was not a hammer-friendly, either seed was hammer-friendly, so, I was kind of trying to avoid hammer bros wherever I could, and it worked out that way, but it was fairly calculated, but, what I did get was fairly sparse, so I knew I had to play pretty smart and kind of tight tonight.
Yeah, I think there was only like 1 or 2 hammers on each of these seeds.
Yeah, there were 2. Uropsalis actually got another hammer. It was the first Piranha stage in World 7 that had a hammer. See, it's funny. Both of you skipped one of the Piranha stages. It's that you skipped opposite stages.
I see, yeah. And to answer Mustard's question, it was kind of a little of both. It was again a calculated risk because the way the map was set up, it could have, that first fort easily could have been the correct answer. I mean, I know it's usually the blue fort is the one that breaks the lock, but with 3 forts on the table here and all of them in plain sight, I thought, well, I'm going to have to play a level regardless, so I'm going to play that stage first. The one that's immediately in front of me, and, especially since I took the 100-coin fine to see what Paradox Pipe had for me.
Ooh, Uropsalis got the top clip. Very good.
Very nice. And it looks like the Disco Waffles are in a position to where they wouldn't hit him once he lands, which is nice.
Oh, he missed the 1-up too. Sorry, but both of your runs are invalidated. You missed the 1-up on the Everman's clip.
Yeah.
That means you guys have to race again.
I'm just teasing. Uropsalis tried to clip once, didn't get it. Now let's see if he can survive that. Remember, that final stretch, that was really brutal with those fireballs. Let's see if Uropsalis can do better here. Comes the tough part. Gets by! Very nicely done. Hi, Bowser. And bye, Bowser. Get your GGs up for Uropsalis.
And now Bowser has to go to the dentist.
That was good. That's good platforming there. Yeah, I was just a little off of my timing. That's a tricky jump to get right. Yeah. Especially, and you're in the back of your mind thinking, "Oh, laser."
And there was a laser in that first race. Not many fireballs, but yeah, that laser at the end.
Yeah.
So, and GG to Uropsalis, finishing with a time of 41:29.
Yeah. I imagine that did 6-6 in game 2 give him fits?
Sadly, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I saw that star at the beginning. It's like, okay, I'm running with this, and I was fortunate with those piranhas. I got a good pattern there, and that really helped.
You did some nifty bobbing and weaving there on that 6-6 there. You got it on the first try, and I don't want to say that was pretty much the determining factor in this race, but it pretty much gave you a lead that you would not relinquish.
Yeah. Those kinds of stages, when you get them, the one in game 1 that had me breathing a sigh of relief was 7-1. And that's only because I played it last night and I absolutely butchered it twice. I had like 30 jumps and could not clip. And, that felt very good.
That kind of happened to Uropsalis. He tried it several times, went through the door, took a death. Next time he comes back, gets on the first try because, of course, the game knows.
Of course.
That's sub-pixel value. It's like, oh, you want your sub-pixel value? You got to take a death first.
I have to say, too, that first Warpless seed was really, really brutal. Let's see, 6-6, 7-4-2. What were the other big stages that we had seen?
6F1, which is to me not necessarily the easiest fort in the world either. 5F1 was the easiest of the three, and that's still not that easy. It gave me problems as a kid. But
that first hand stage, especially as Small Mario, that's the one I did.
Oh yeah, the Hammer Brothers Party Mix. That's right. Yeah, that one was
yeah.
too.
Gotta remember that Hammer Bro Party Mix, but
like
that always makes me nervous. I was lucky to get a good draw on the Hammer Bros, especially since there was no power up. So that worked out pretty well.
I can't take full credit for coming up with that term. I was inspired by what Gyre calls that one cave at the beginning of Final Fantasy with all those poison enemies. I think he calls it the poison enemy party mix or something like that.
Yeah, we're all about co-opting around here.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
I raced against uropsalis last night in a friendly, and I saw some of his times afterwards, and he was hanging tight with some really good players. So I knew going in this is going to be not an easy match, and that first one was less than 2 minutes. So for me that's pretty gratifying to come out on a strong start and played my game, tried to avoid unforced and unnecessary errors, and there were a couple of gambles here or there, but overall, particularly in World 8, I felt like my execution and my general game plan were on point tonight, so I'm very pleased with that.
I'll bet you are. Yes, I mean, both a couple of moments there, but yeah, in that first game, I don't know if we're gonna have an interview with uropsalis or not, but I want to bring up the first game. He did have a hammer that he could have had a chance to maybe put a serious dent into that lead. Unfortunately, he decided to use it in that one place where he had both a lock and a boulder. He was hoping it would break the boulder. It broke the lock, and that neutralized any chance he had of maybe stealing that one from me. I mean, the difference was less than 2 minutes. I mean, if you would have used the hammer in a more opportune spot, you could have won game number one.
Yes, especially with how that world turned out. That's an unfortunate sort of quirk of the random, but yeah, that definitely in World 6 I know wasn't especially long. It was all forts basically, but that kind of thing really can swing a race. So yeah, I was fortunate in that regard. But no hammers for me in game 1, and in game 2, that double cloud and then getting a hammer in World 7. Although that in World 2, I will say having a hammer in World 8 actually would have paid off because of the way the map broke down.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and there weren't that many hammers. In fact, we only saw a grand total of 3. 1 in the first race and 2 in the second. You only got a grand total of 1 hammer out of the whole thing.
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes. Because I didn't play a lot of Hammer Bros tonight, so part of it again was me just trying to be as expedient as possible and not really kind of getting hung up on all the items. So it worked out. But uropsalis, sounds like he played really well. He's going to be a good opponent for Ricky and Leslie in their matches, I think, and I'm sure they're going to be very good matches for me as well, because I've got Ricky on Saturday and see about Leslie, because Leslie burning the candle at both ends between this and the Challenge Cup for ALTTPR.
Yeah, he's definitely put a lot of work into both of those randomizers there. So, yep. It sounds like we're not going to have an interview with uropsalis because it looks like he's getting right back to the grindstone and practicing another season. Wouldn't you know it? It's this level again.
And as Small Mario, I wonder if he knows about the power-up on the top route at the beginning.
Yeah,
well,
that's
true. Well, he's getting this looks like a pretty good draw, though. As far as enemies are concerned.
Look at all the big Berthas there. Holy smokes. But now he's going to have to get through all these and look at this gauntlet. We were
Yep.
talking about how this level lags. I mean, you think CV2 lags? That's got nothing on this one. My word. And
No,
more
yeah.
fire piranhas. Gets through though, but it's not on the neck of the woods yet.
Man, talk about trial by fire, huh?
Yeah, the good thing with that stage is you get all those pixels on the screen. It actually will despawn some of those piranhas, and that'll give you a little breathing room in the tunnel. But
First try, nice job.
there you go.
I will say too, thank goodness that 6-6 doesn't usually have an enemy at the end point of that level like that. Because could you imagine having to go through all of that, and then as you get out of the pipe, the last enemy randomizes into a boss bass?
It's happened, and people
or
and I play
Or a fire
racers.
nipper.
Yeah.
Racers have been eaten by those. You know, that was like front of my mind. Like, that is not going to be me. I will take an extra half a second just to make sure that I do not get gulped tonight.
I had actually noticed that and pointed that out on the I think it's basically like a 7-2 beta stage or whatever. I had actually pointed out that you had waited about a half second to see if the boss bass would show up.
3-9
before you
beta,
went down.
I believe. Yes, 3-9 beta.
Oh yeah. Because the first game I saw him and it's like I kind of hit the panic button. It's like, okay, I'm going back. And then he came again, and then this time he was there was nothing there. It's like, okay, with the tail, top route is faster. So that kind of stuck in the back of my mind. So when that happened again, it's like, okay, I'm gonna take the extra time and then just go top route. So that worked out. Nice hammer.
I was gonna say, I think the game is taunting you now, Pro A. Another hammer for uropsalis.
Well, don't worry. Saturday is chock full of end cards, so it'll even out.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, my experience, they tend to even out. But so yeah, GG's to uropsalis. This is, I believe, his first tournament matches. So
actually, it was everybody's first tournament matches in Group K. I don't think anybody's played yet.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I don't think I think this is the first time he's done SMB3R.
No, he was in last year's tournament. He was 2-4.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he was in the group with Magoo and I think was it Paradox.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so a solid group that. But yeah, GG's to him. So yeah, looking forward to Saturday's match with Ricky, and thanks guys for doing the comms, and thanks to Sharchid for being very patient in the last match with Diesel and Johnny. So yeah, thanks guys very much, and thanks SpeedGaming as always for giving us our fourth go round for this tournament.
All right, again, big congratulations to Pro A for winning both of the races. Please make sure you give proa007 and uropsalis a follow. Great performance by the both of them. We have a few races that are scheduled on the tournament slate. Tomorrow night, or actually tomorrow afternoon, at noon p.m. Eastern, we've got Night Shifter versus True Hyper Mario. And then on Saturday, currently we have two sets of races scheduled. First one's at 4 p.m. Eastern with Tapatio J versus Johnny Link. And then later on, Pro A is going to be back at it again versus the Ricky 5 and Night Shifter Demon Battler. They're all going to be playing the exact same seed, and those will be head-to-head matchups. So that should be a lot of fun.
And honestly, given the fact that I'm going to be playing Night Shifter, I'm going to have to watch very carefully with his and True Hyper Mario's match, because they're both in my group. So, which True Hyper's already defeated me twice, but this will give me more information to work with to give me an idea on how to set my playstyle here.
And then, of course, the other person that's in your group, I don't know, some guy that's named, I don't know, Mitch Flower Power, who's got a silver medal, a bronze medal, and a gold medal in his 3 tournaments. You know, I think he's all right, too.
Yeah, in fact, funny enough, when I saw the groups, my very first response in the Discord was, So, do I turn in my resignation letter now, or because that's
Good
gonna be
one.
a challenge? That's
I
gonna be
love
a
it.
challenge.
By the way, Lemmy's being a jumbo shrimp again, and uropsalis takes him down. Very good work.
Yeah, yeah, that's a tough group. There's some unknown variables for sure. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I know Mitch is 4-0 already, but we'll see what happens as we close this out. 'Cause you guys are almost done practically.
Yeah, yeah. It feels weird that it's almost done that fast, but at the same time, that means I get to focus more on helping commentate and watch these other matches. So.
It's kind of my mindset. Get them done quick so I can help supervise events from up high. So well, thanks guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. So with that, that is going to complete our coverage of the Super Mario Brothers 3 Randomizer Tournament tonight. Before we say goodbye, let me take a look and see what's on the remainder of the schedule. All right, looks like that not too far from now, less than 20 minutes, we have another exciting edition of the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament. That'll be going on Speed Gaming. Got a couple other events that are currently in progress. We've got the Super Metroid Rando League that's happening on Speed Gaming 4 and on Speed Gaming 5, a Link to the Past Randomizer 2021 tournament. So with that, that is going to draw our stream to a close. On behalf of our two runners, actually, before I say goodbyes here, do you have any final thoughts, Stephen Badler, before we call it?
Not really that I could think of, aside from the matches in the future are going to be interesting to watch. So keep tuned with this tournament. It's going to be very entertaining.
Yep, you better believe it. So on behalf of our two runners, uropsalis and proa007, for everybody here on Speed Gaming and for my commentator partner, Demon Badler, I'm LOZ Cards Fan 23 signing off. Have a great night, and we will see you again tomorrow for more exciting SMB3 randomizer coverage. So long, everybody.